Number 1, the directions are find the area of each triangle. Round intermediate values to the nearest tenth, which we're not going to do. We're going to keep it as a square root. We're not going to make it a decimal. And then use the rounded values to calculate the next value. Round your final answer to the nearest tenth. We will round our final answer to the nearest tenth. All right, so number 1. Our goal is to find the area of a triangle. Who remembers what the formula is for area of a triangle? All of y'all are on the right track, but nobody has said it exactly right. Right. Okay. Let's talk about why. Okay. Say that you have a rectangle. You have a rectangle, right? What is the area of a rectangle? Length times width. The length times the width. Well, say that I take this rectangle and I draw a diagonal line, cutting it in half, making 2 triangles. So if I now have 2 triangles, right? So isn't a triangle just half of a rectangle? So that's why for a triangle, the formula is area equals 1/2 base times height. Isn't base of the triangle the same thing as the length? And isn't the width of the rectangle the same thing as the height of the triangle? So you're still doing like length times width, but since it's a triangle, we call it base and height. And then it's 1/2, or like Drake said, divided by 2 is the same thing, because a triangle is just half of that rectangle. So that's how the formula is derived. That's why the 1/2 is there, because the triangle is half of the rectangle. Does that make sense? Okay, now let's look back at here we go, back to the problem. So, remember, our goal is to find the area. Well, to find the area of a triangle, you do 1/2 times the base times the height. Well, in this triangle, we have the height. The height is 6. So I can go ahead and plug in 6 for that h. Well, multiplying by 1/2 and dividing by 2 is the same thing. The actual formula is 1/2 base times height. Okay, now to find the base would mean to find this part, correct? Which is unknown. But what have we been learning this week that would allow you to find that base? The Pythagorean theorem. Okay? The hypotenuse is given. Right. The hypotenuse is 8 and A is 6. So we just need to find B, and then we'll know the base of the triangle. So here we go. We can use 6 in the A place. The B is unknown, and then the hypotenuse is 8. So that becomes 36 plus B squared equals 64. And now to solve for B, what do we do? Subtract 36, correct. And so B squared equals 64 minus 36 is 28. Okay, now to solve for B, what do? Square root it. Okay, now, normally, yes, we would do the factor tree and simplify something like the square root of 28. But since our goal here is just to find the area of this triangle, you can plug in the square root of 28 for B. So right here in the place of B, I'm now going to put the square root of 28, and now multiply all those together, and you will know the area of this triangle. Yes, I would. Yeah, nearest tenth. Okay, so when you typed in Marcus, what did you get? Okay, and they said round that to the nearest tenth, so that'd be 15.9. Because since the number after the 8 is larger than 5, you round that up. Okay, number 2. We're trying to find the area of this triangle. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. Well, don't we already know the height? What is the height? 8. We don't know the base, but can't we find the base since we have the hypotenuse and a leg? So we use Pythagorean theorem, which would be 8 squared for the a squared plus b squared equals 9 squared. Now what do we do? Simplify each number, like that becomes a 64, and 9 squared becomes a 81. And now to solve for b, what do we do? And so b squared equals, and now to solve for b, what do we do? And so b equals the square root of 17, so just put the square root of 17 in for base, and now calculate that to find the area of this triangle. Yeah? You could just plug it in the place of b. Yep. As long as you're putting parentheses around the base and the height. Okay, what did y'all get? 16.5 is correct. Okay, do you feel like you're good enough now to try 3, 4, and 5? Okay, everybody try 3, 4, and 5. 3. What did you get for the area of this triangle? 15.6. You would have done area equals 1/2 times base times height, which is 5. And what did y'all get for that base? Square root of 39. Okay. And then when you type that in, you get 15.6 or 15.7. Right. Well, if somebody said 7, so I was just checking it for them. All right, number 4, what did you get for the area? Okay. And then number 5? Okay. Does anybody need me to go over any one of those? Yeah, there's some up here. Okay, number 6, we're not going to worry about doing that. Now let's look down at number 7. This is a different kind, so you need to be paying attention. Okay, for this one, you have basically one big triangle, but within that one big triangle, don't you have 2 other triangles? Okay, so the given information is that this leg of both triangles is 8. The hypotenuse is 9, and then this portion of the leg, or this leg for this triangle is 14, but as far as knowing the entire base, we don't know it until we know this part, correct? So far of the area formula, we know 1/2. We don't know the base yet because we only know from here to here. We've got to know the rest. And then we know the height is 8. So isn't the only thing we have to figure out is the base or the b value of this smaller triangle? So if you plugged 8 in for a and squared it, plus b squared equals 9 squared, that would become 64. What? Oh, okay. Because what does it end up becoming? B squared is 16.5? 17. No. And then that now we know is square root of 17. And now what would you need to do though? No, what do you times by 8? No, you don't. So you're telling me all I need to plug in right here is square root of 17. What about the 14? What first one? We don't need this. We don't care about that hypotenuse. Think, okay, think about it. Listen, think about it. The only thing you got to know to find the area of a triangle is its base, which is the bottom from here to here, and the height, which is here to here. Well, we already know the height is 8. We only knew a large portion of the base, but not this part. So doesn't that mean that the base is actually that together? So now add those together and now tell me what to plug in for B. Because y'all aren't the only students in here. What do you get? 18.1. Now type in all that together, 1/2 times 18.1 times 8, and you get. So where did that 16 point something come from? It's all a matter of rounding. Like, did you actually type in 14 plus square root of 17 right here? Uh-huh. No. You've got to go ahead and type this whole part in for the B. Either add it together and put it in, or literally type in 14 plus square root of 17. Okay, go to the next page. Next page. All right, number 8. For this one, we have one large triangle, but within it, 2 other triangles. We are given this leg, which is the leg for both triangles, correct? And its length is 8. We are given this portion of the base, which is 3. So what all do we have to figure out to be able to do the area? Right, just the other part of the base that's missing. We don't need this at all, because all you have to know to do area is 1/2 times the base, which we'll know after we get that part, times the height, which we already know. So all we got to focus in on is this left triangle. So that would be 8 squared in the a squared part, pay attention, plus b squared is unknown currently, equals c squared. Then that will become 64 plus b squared equals 100. And now what do we do? Minus 64. And b squared now equals, and now to solve for b, square root it, and so b equals, so now we know that this portion of the base is 6, so the total base is 9. So to find the area, 1/2 times 9 times 8. Right. That's it. Okay, now let's go to number 9. Just because the batteries are going low. Number 9. Oh, never mind. We're not doing those kind. Number 10. Okay, number 10. To be able to calculate the area of this triangle, and then this is the 5, it's just not showing. Yeah, you can cross it out. We need to know the base, and currently don't we only know a portion of the base? And we know the height already is 3. So to find the entire base, don't we just have to find this bottom leg of that triangle on the right? So we got to use Pythagorean theorem for that. So that's 3 squared is one leg, plus b squared is the unknown leg, equals 5 squared. Focus, I'm almost done. That becomes 9 plus b squared equals 25. And now what do we do? And so b squared equals 16, and that means b equals square root of 16, which is 4. So that means the base is actually 7, because the 3 and 4 together means the base is 7 units long. So now to find the area, you just do half of 21, which is 10.5. That's the same thing. Yours is just staying in fraction form. If you hit alpha y equals number 4, it'll say 10.5. All right, last one I'm doing with you, number 11, focus. Okay, this time, we're still trying to find the area. Do we know any part of the base? No, but we know the height is 5. So how can we figure out the base when we don't know either part? Right, we do know the hypotenuse for both triangles, and we know one leg of both triangles. So doesn't that mean we're going to have to find the other leg for both? Which is going to mean we're going to have to do Pythagorean theorem twice for both triangles. So 5 squared, well, we're going to do this one first. Okay, I'm doing this one first. 5 squared plus b squared equals 7 squared. And that would become 25 plus b squared equals 49. And then you would subtract 25, and you would get b squared equals, and now to solve for b, you will, and so b equals, we're just going to leave it. We're just going to leave it. Don't worry about simplifying today, because it's not going to matter when you plug it in. So we now know that this leg of this triangle is the square root of 24. Now we need to work on triangle number 2 to find its leg. So that would be 5 squared plus b squared equals 6 squared. Isn't that going to become 25 plus b squared equals 36? And then you're going to subtract the 25 just like you did with the other one. But this time, since our c was different, we end up with b squared equals, and then when you square root it, you get b equals the square root of 11. Now, before putting that in, you could go and add those together. What's the square root of 24 plus the square root of 11? Just give it to me in decimal form. 8.2. So now type it all in to figure out the area of that triangle. Right. Now you need to work on 12 through 15 by yourself. All right, here we go. Number 12. What did y'all get for number 12? 40.4 is correct. What did you get for 13? Straight. I got 156.8. Okay, what did you get for number 14? And what did you get for 15? What'd y'all get? I got 95.6. Did anybody get this one? All right, you can switch out.